Welcome to Not 8% Club, right? Insurance influencers. Every Friday from now on, we want to do a rebrand. We want to do a new show. We want to get your attention in a different way. And I'm going to explain why here very shortly. So from now on, brand new show on Fridays, right? Because we've got insurance agent training. And the reason why is we've got Mondays, we've got insurance agent training. You know what the agenda is. We're training you on to sell more insurance, right? Then Tuesdays, Phone Phenom. Most insurance agents struggle with using the phone. So we've got Phone Phenom to focus on that, right? We got the 8% Nation podcast where we do interviews and we talk about people that are a part of the 8%, right? Maybe the people that aren't. We had 8% Club, which was more generic, right? And not as focused, which is why we get more views on the other shows. So from now on, we're going to get more specific with insurance influencers, right? So the purpose of this show is to talk about how you can be an influence in your world, positively, negatively, by focusing on helping people, helping other people, helping agents, building teams, selling more. Because what I want to jump into right now is so that we can explain this as an influencer, according to Google, okay? And when we look at a definition, an influencer is an individual who has the power to affect purchase decisions of others because of his or her authority, knowledge, position, or relationship with his or her audience, right? So when we talk about being able to affect the purchase decision of others, in our world, no one wants to talk about the word influencer, okay? Well, I've been told a lot over the last several months about how I am an influencer technically for our industry. Now, I don't think of myself like that because I'm not, some arrogant giant ego jerk, right? So I don't think of myself like that. But that doesn't mean that you don't think of me like that and that others may not also think of me like that, which is why I want to make sure that it's something that we talk about, because right now, when you think about the insurance industry, you don't think about someone being an influencer. It's almost a negative connotation. It's almost something we don't talk about, right? So we want to make it cool, we want to make it sexy, and we want to make it talked about that it's okay to be an influencer. You're affecting the purchase decision of others. Now, it doesn't mean that you're, freaking Billy McFarland with Fire Festival and you're like scamming people. It doesn't mean that at all, because that's kind of what people can take that word and you can take it negatively, but you have the decision, it's human nature, to take any word, any situation, and view it positively or negatively. So I want to make sure this is a positive focus on the fact that in the insurance world, you can be an influence, because when you're selling insurance, you are influencing prospects to do business with you. True or false? When you're a team leader, you are influencing other people to join your team and work for you. True or false? When you are selling courses to help people in the insurance world, whether it be for lead gen, how to do Facebook leads, how to sell insurance, how to sell Medicare, how to cross-sell, like all these other things, right? Universities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You are influencing others to purchase your product, to them help them make more money and do better at business. True or false? So everyone in our business is an influencer, whether you believe it or not. Whether you think of it that way does not mean it isn't true. It's 100% true. Everyone is. And I want you to think about you as an influence. But what I want to challenge you with today before I get into some of the content is, because this one's going to be a welcome, introduction, explanation, etc. opening episode. But what I want to challenge you with and get you to think about today is you are an influence. You can influence people positively. You can influence people negatively. You have the impact to influence enough people to make $100,000 in this business as a career. 92% fail. There's more millionaires in this industry in the world, etc., right? You also have the ability to influence people to join your team. You have the influence and the ability to earn not only $50K, and about the average person in the insurance business right now makes $45,000 to $55,000 a year. That is a freaking joke. They're technically still an influencer, but they're a smaller influencer, right? Because they're not influencing enough people to actually buy insurance. And so one of the things that I want this show to be all about, and for you to realize, is that you have an influence in the world, in your marketplace, in your area. You can be a local celebrity in your market, whatever you want, right? You can be a celebrity in our space. You can be there's billion-dollar brands in the insurance world, and you have the ability to influence others positively through helping them with insurance products, through helping them with insurance sales, through helping them make commission, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So there's positive and tons of ways to look at this. One of the things I want to talk about real quick, and jump out at me, Dylan, if I need to do anything, is just the fun. You may come in on me just to keep the distraction away. And you can come in real close, and I won't even move. We talk about the definition. Okay, as Dylan comes in because of technical difficulties, what do? You freaking pivot, right? Personal brand. You are right now. I kind of like this angle, right? Give us a thumbs up if you like this angle. It's unique, right? It isn't stale. It's new. It's cool, right? It's influencing you to stay with us. Am I right? You are a personal brand. You have the ability to brand yourself nowadays to do whatever the freak you want. You can make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever. People making 9 figures in our industry, 10 figures, right? Companies, who cares, right? Because what I'm learning is that the personal brand mentality and the way people in our industry brand themselves online is a joke, right? And when I talk about branding and using social media and putting out content focused on your message and your niche and your market, I'm not talking about, hey, you own a cell phone, so you should own, you own a cell phone, so but you don't own life insurance, and then you're shaming people, right? So that's not what I'm technically saying that you should do. But what I'm saying is you have the ability, and that's kind of like negative, right? We put a lot of that kind of stuff out in the marketplace today. And I feel like we are being a negative, whiny influence by doing those things. There's a more positive way to do that, right? There's positive stories you can share. There's things you can do. You also don't want to be talking about insurance on social media constantly, right? There's ways to get attention. There's ways to make money. There's ways to stay top of mind. There's ways that when people think about you, they think about insurance, or vice versa. When they think about the word insurance, who do they think about, right? Because when you guys think about insurance videos, we probably come to mind more than anyone else in our industry, simply because I'm not saying we put out the best videos, even though I can argue we probably do. But what's almost unarguable is that we put out more content for our space than other people. You can't argue that because we back it up, right? Which means that we have become an influence in our space simply because of that, right? And so I'm a believer that people buy from people nowadays. People would rather buy from a person than a company. And so the world has shifted to where people want like behind the scenes, behind the curtain, right? They want to see you go out and make $6,000, right? When I talk to agents all the time about recruiting and getting attention and building teams and how to make those things happen. It's this, right? Hey, I made $8,000 this week with these 7 easy steps, and I'm going to train you to do the exact same thing. So if you like what I'm talking about, if you too want to make $8,000 a week, then do me a favor. Click the button below and let us know and we'll talk, right? That's the way that you influence people to want to work with you. It's not, hey, I'm the greatest salesperson in the world. I'll make you $8 trillion. And if you don't continue and want to work with me, you're stupid, right? That is not how you do that. But if you're positive, and the first one wasn't, hey, I was like, when I talk about my story of how I made $117,361.13 in my first 8 months in the industry, one of the things I always preface with is I was fortunate enough to do that. Not that I'm this jerk that nobody wants to hear from, not that I'm being super arrogant, not that because people aren't attracted to that anymore. People are attracted to authenticity. That's why when we screw up, a TV is flickering during the middle of our show, we don't freaking shut it all down. We just may change the camera angle, but we keep it real and authentic and genuine. People want to know what is going on in your world, and I want to make sure that you are able to do that. Also, what the cool thing about being an influencer and influencing people and building a personal brand is that social proof and credibility, that's what that provides, right? By putting out content, we are providing social proof that we know what we're doing, and we're establishing credibility, okay? When we've got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube or 15,000 agents that follow us on Instagram, we are building social proof and credibility that people watch our stuff. People pay attention to those things. Numbers don't lie, right? I'm not saying it's all about that, but it's credibility, okay? Also, I want to tell you about I want to remind you to always be coming up with new, fresh ideas. I'm constantly thinking of ways to market our brand better. Hence, why we just totally flipped the script and stopped doing 8% Club, and all of a sudden we're doing insurance influencers, because there's a branding aspect to this that people need to hear about. People don't like to talk about this stuff in our industry. People don't think about this. But I went to a retreat recently, and there were multiple individuals that owned 8-figure companies in the room. Multiple. Maybe 4 or 5. And every single one of those people stood up during the retreat and said that we think about you as someone that is building a personal brand to help the insurance space, which is humbling, right? It's freaking cool. But it made me think about this and some other things that we're going to be doing in the future that I really hadn't thought of before. So I want to challenge you right now to think about yourself. You are a brand. You have the ability to influence people positively or negatively and to help a lot of people. So that's what I want to leave you with today as we wrap up our first episode of Insurance Influencers, as we roll out this new show every Friday. The purpose is to remind you that you have a brand. I'll be giving you personal brand and influencing techniques and strategies and tips along the way. Okay, we'll have new things every episode. But what I want to challenge you with right now is you are a brand. What you do out in the market can affect your brand, right? So you don't see me going on Facebook and doing really stupid stuff impacting how people perceive me. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be fun and funny and authentic and genuine and transparent. Don't skew what I'm saying. But remember that you are a brand and you can influence people positively. Okay? I got to speak at my, as I close up, I got to speak at my grandfather's funeral, okay, several months ago. And what I talked about the whole time was how big of a positive influence he was in people's lives. He was a Baptist pastor, 50-something years. He was a positive influence. And it feels good when you are able to influence people positively, okay? So when we're no longer here, how are people going to remember and think about us? And I know that I want people to think Cody was a positive influence on the insurance industry. And I'm assuming that you want to think, them to think the exact same thing about you, right or wrong, okay? So remember, you're a brand. You influence people whether you like it or not. You have the ability to influence people positively or negatively. And people are watching what you do, and everything you do matters. Now, I'm not saying worry about what everybody thinks. I could care less what people think. But everything you do impacts your personal brand. Thanks for watching Insurance Influencers. If you like this new show, give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment below, and let us know what you think. Okay?
Want a question?
Yeah, I'll take a question before we wrap up. Yeah.
It's from somebody named Lauren Askins.
All right. Lauren's got a question.
She said, what's the hardest part of opening up to the world and letting people see the good and the bad?
What's the hardest part of letting people inside and letting them into your world and seeing the good and the bad? Most people, and this is what I struggle with the most. Most people only want to they only want to show the good. They don't want to show the bad. And that's something I've struggled with a lot. People want, the insurance soup guys have taught me this over the years. People want realness, authenticity, transparency, someone that's genuine, and you have to show the bad as well. Okay? You can't just show the good. What you got to remember is that you just need to be real. Authentic, genuine. People love the live dials and the live cold calls and stuff because I'll screw up on video. And I don't care, right? It's authentic, it's genuine, it's transparent, and people respect that, okay? So remember that, to be authentic, genuine, transparent, and focus on helping people, and you have a chance to be a positive influence in the world, okay? Thanks for watching. Insurance Influencers every Friday. Let me know what you think below. Have a great weekend. Happy Labor Day. Again, thanks for watching.